So follow along page 24, page 24, amortization tables. So I'll just give you a little brief background. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to look at the first 3 months or 4 months of a long payment. For example, I have a 25-year mortgage, right? 25 times 12, right? 25 years over 12 months. That's 300 payments that I'll be making over the life of my mortgage. So depending on how many payments you have, you could be making a lot of these calculations over and over again. All right, so I'll jump right to this chart down here, bottom of 24, bottom half. And hopefully you can follow along with your calculators, okay? So Jamal purchased a vehicle for $12,000. He had to borrow $10,000. So this is your loan, right? Obviously he had a $2,000 down payment to get it to 10 at 425 over 3 years. So let's calculate the payment here. Based on this, we have a $10,000 loan, and we'll multiply it by a rate. If we compare 4.25 over 3 years, and I will give you this so we don't have to go back to page 18. This is 29.69, okay? If you multiply this and divide, you get a payment of $296.90 per month. So this gets complicated, so I'm going to try to go slow, but you have to follow, okay? This payment never changes. Once the bank gives you a payment, you can go ahead and fill this in and just say, hey, every month, the amount that's coming out of my account is going to be the same, which most people like. They like a fixed amount. They don't want something that changes, right? All right. And so you should have seen this in grade 11. I don't know if you remember that. So first thing we're always going to do is find the interest, the monthly interest. So I'm going to write down little I here, and that's loan times interest rate divided by 12. Write that down there. Loan times interest rate divided by 12. So if we calculate the interest for the first month, what's your loan? You owe 10 grand in this case. The interest rate is 0.0425, right? It's 4.25%. I converted it to a decimal. Divided by, so if you're not sure, just divide it by 100, folks. I do this so many times, so often that I know already, right? But if you're not sure, divide it by 100. And let's calculate this. So 10,000 times 0.0425 divided by 12, you get 3542 if you round that. 3542. Okay, so this is the number that really goes into this cell. I'm just showing you the work, because if you don't have the work, it's kind of useless. Like, you won't remember how we got that. And how are we going to get the principal? Remember that bar we just filled in, right? To get the principal, we go payment minus I. So it's basically this minus that will give us the principal portion. And I will go ahead and figure that out. So $296.90 minus $35.42. So it's $261.48. So what happened here? This was your payment. The bank says, thank you very much, right? They take this. They go and take that off of what you owe, right? They take this number and they say, yeah, we're going to actually take some off of what you owe. And that is 9,738 and 52 cents. So these are the numbers that I'm after in these cells, right? I just show you the work so you know how to get that. You know what? I'm gonna make a slight change, not a big deal, but you know this formula here, I'm gonna put that here at the top, and then I'm actually gonna show the numbers that I'm subtracting in here. So if you don't want to do the change, that's okay. 3542 there to show, right, this is the work that got me this number. So now you only owe this much. After the first payment, you only owe this much. So this is now, listen carefully, this is now your loan. This is your loan. So you carry that over, and instead of 10,000, you're going to have 9738.52 times. I'm going to highlight later on. Just wait. Highlights are coming. Right? So you still do the same thing as in the previous line. However, your loan has changed because you owe less. So 9738.52 times 0.0425 divided by 12, 3449. See there? Go ahead. 3449. And then here I take my payment and I subtract the new interest. By the way, you should see that the interest is slowly going down because you're slowly owing less, right? Over time, you owe less. So I'm going to go 296.90. If anybody is in accounting, you're going to love this stuff, right? Because you're really particular with numbers and you make sure everything carries over. So boom, boom. And watch now, the principal you pay that goes towards your loan is slowly going up. And so we take this number and we subtract 262.41 from that. And that is 94.76 and 11 cents. Does that make sense? What's happening here in the background? I hope it starts making sense. These two numbers always add up to your payment, right? So the payment doesn't change, but these two numbers do change month after month. Okay? So you can say after the first month, you owe this much. After the second month, you owe this much. And let's do one more here. Now my loan is 9476.11 times 0.0425. That is not going to change. And let's calculate that. $263.34. and this goes towards paying off your loan. And that is 921277. Anybody in accounting in here? You're gonna like this stuff. Yeah. Make sure you carry all the numbers, put them in the right spot, don't make mistakes. I mean, you use spreadsheets, I'm sure, but do you do stuff like this? Yeah? Okay, so now let's see if you understand. Let's make sure we know how to answer, because this gives us a lot of information, right? How much interest did you pay over 3 months? Well, some students, I've seen them do this, 3542 times 3, and that's wrong, right? It's 3542 plus 3449 plus 3356. This is how much interest you have accumulated and have paid over 3 months. We add that up. That's 103.47. So you've paid only in 3 months, you've already paid $100 interest alone. Gone. You're not seeing that anymore. It's gone. That's the finance charge accumulating, right? How much went towards the principal? 261.48, 262.41, and 263.34. It's these three numbers that I add up to get the principal. I have the answer here, so I'm just going to give you what that is. This is the answer to B. This is the answer to A. How much do you owe after 3 months? It's not here, but I could ask you that. 92, right? 9,212 and 77 cents. Hold on. Because this will be gibberish next week, right? So I'm just going to grab my highlighter. I'm going to highlight this number and make sure it shows up there. Then I'm going to grab my other highlighter and I'm going to highlight this number and make it show up here. Right? So you see, like, this number carried over, this number carried over. That's what I would do. Okay? And a third highlighter. You don't have to, but just showing that if you add up these two cells, you get that. Right? Okay. I'm going to leave it at that.